Hey, sports fans. Oh, God. Fucking Sunday. It's the week after the 4th of July. In El Paso, supposed to cool down about 4 degrees. It's going to be 97 today. Still hot. Excuse the no shirt, but I don't have refrigeration in my house. I got three fans going. Uh, my son used to go in the Caesars at 85. I'm one of them West Texas guys that you're used to the heat, and my dad was from Mexico. He said, get used to it. Everybody else is. My thing is, I got 47 years clean and sober by the grace of God. And my thing is trying to understand wisdom and understanding ideologies and the way people think. I've always, I don't know, maybe I was raised that way or something. I just try to. I think my dad, he was into psychology or something. He had an eighth grade education, so uh, work. You know, my mother got a raised four kids, then got a master's degree. That was back in they were born in 1905 and 1912. I'm born in 1949. I was looking at that Diddy thing and that Clive Davis, 94. I guess they said that Jaguar lady, Jaguar Wright, I think. She said, "Oh, Diddy met Clive Davis. Clive Davis had all kinds of money when he was 21. Anyhow, the homos, whatever. So I'm wondering how come Diddy doesn't have AIDS or something, or maybe he does. I don't know. I was in L.A. and Hollywood since the early '60s, rock and roll time. Used to be bohemians up there in Hollywood around '63, I think. I was New York City too. The same thing as bohemians, beatniks. Like in the village and whatnot. Anyhow, yeah, that's a weird deal. Now, connections supposedly maybe with the CIA that says Diddy asset. Now he had a mansion down in West Palm Beach, I think. Net worth, it says that the Diddy didn't have any money. He, all his money was in his mother's account, something like that. Said he grew up in the Bronx at a Catholic school, and I guess one of the priests or something did him when he was 12 or something. That might, if you do that to somebody, maybe you're going to start doing that to other people. That's what you learned. As far as the artists are concerned, they all, Motown, same thing. They all got, since the 60s, there was, Bobby Fuller was from Baytown and lived in El Paso. Then he went to LA. They ended up killing him. I think he was flirting with a mafia guy's girlfriend or something like that. That might have been. Or beyond that, his agent or whatever producer had taken out a life insurance policy on him for like 800,000. You know, the next thing you know, he's dead. The cops don't know nothing because his brother was up there too, Randy Fuller. So the cops didn't want to, told him they might as well forget about it. Something like that, you know. So that's that Hollywood. That's the deep end, the dark side, whatever, you know. You say they're blaming Clive Davis for Whitney Houston's death and many more that they accidentally committed suicide, you know, in the bathtub with drugs and whatnot. So car crashes and all that. Similar. Eh, we started in a rock and roll band. We was trying to be like the Beatles or the Stones. Like in '64, I was 14 in high school. We started a garage band. Didn't get nowhere. Played little high school dances, Jewish place, Fort Bliss for the soldiers. You know, 20, 20, 30 people would show up, played in a bar downtown. It was like a GI bar or something. On the weekends, Dyer with Fort Bliss, the soldiers, kind of a country and West, pitchers of beer, you know. The guy, we were drinking 14, they were serving us beer, so no big fucking deal, but we were pretty good, you know. And then cut a little record. Steve Krosno. Somebody just put a. Oh, anybody remember Steve Krosno? Yeah. Oh, that's what. But he's a strange looking guy. I'm looking now. He's kind of got a big mustache. I think he was from Las Cruces or something. But he used to be on the radio at KELP. So I was in Hollywood. I was hitchhiking, you know, maybe Panhandle or something on a strip. I remember one guy picked me up. I was like 13 or 13 or something. Anyhow, it is what it is. God, I read the Bible every day now. You know, just say, ask for help. God, help me. Please. Retired 77. I was driving a truck 16 years for JB Hunt, with JB Hunt, owner operator. Get some of the dumbest shit. One guy's taking pictures this morning of his brand new truck and trailer. And got I think, three big pieces of cardboard in his trailer. He shows like I think three pictures. The trailer, I guess they just finished unloading him, and he got three of those big pieces of about 5 foot, 4 or 5 foot boxes, you know, flattened, about 2 foot, 3 foot wide, you know. Must have been his first week out there or something. You look at the mess. Yeah, I think three cardboard boxes and flattened out, and they wrapped the pallets with that shrink wrap, that like that clear cellophane type shit, to try to so it don't the pallet don't fall over or something. And The third picture was that I guess he just threw it out there at the dock. They close the doors after you finish unloading. You're on your own. That's it. Bye. Thanks. Bye. Usually, 9 out of 10, there's one of them big dumpsters at the end of the docks. You throw all your garbage in there, whatever you got. Obviously, this guy has no brain, or he's so la di da prima donna that, if you're that, why don't you stay home and get on the internet and sell Barbie dolls or something? You probably make more money, and you can. I'm old. I wash my hands all the time. I'm retired. I got the toilet right. I'm old. I got the toilet right here and washing up, trying to clean up. 16 years in the fucking truck. The last 3 years, I got stuck out there with Joe Biden raising diesel prices from 2.79 to over $5 a gallon. He put me out of business. I stuck it out for 3 years, and I said, "This is fucking ridiculous." I was making, but repairs and all that. I was making 1,000 at the end of the month, and just showers. I was going 2 or 3 weeks without a shower. $18. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah. So I'm just trying to live out the rest of my life and trying to. Man, I slept that first year and a half. I was sleeping like 12, 16, 18 hours a day. My body is. They don't tell you that. That's an owner operator. I started hitchhiking back in '70 cross country, Vietnam vets and shit. And that's the old like the Thunder Road, whatever, White Line Fever. It's about the Vietnam vets. Guy has got a wife and 2 kids, and doing you know good paying loads and all that kind of country and western type, and Burt Reynolds, Smokey and the Bandit, all that shit. But drugs, speed and whiskey and the waitresses, the girls, the hookers, and all that shit. The fist fights, and here come the shotguns and guns and corrupt brokers, same old shit. And it's an old guy told me that. He said we were talking about an automatic. That was about 16, 15 years ago. Guy been driving, got the overall as a farm type guy, and he was about 65 or so. And he said, "Oh fuck, I don't want to know. Once you get John, once you get a automatic, man, I don't want no part of that shit." He said, so one day his truck broke down. He had to take it to the shop, and the boss says, "Hey, John, I got you a loaner truck, and you can keep working. It's over there." It's like, it was new or 1 year old or 2 years old or something. When he comes back, he says, "That's a fucking automatic. I ain't driving it." And they said, "Well, that's all we got right now. So take it or leave it." So he had to go somewhere or go pick up his truck that was finished, something like that. Anyhow, he says, "Yeah, I got in this thing. I started to try to figure everything out." He said, "Man, that truck was sweet. That was nice. Fuck that. No problem. See, my left leg from pushing in the clutch, I can't, my knee, can't hardly walk." I said, this is fucked up, man. Getting to that point. JB Hunt got a $10,000 incentive for owner operators. Maybe I could do a couple more on that. I can't. I said, "Nah, don't even start, man. You fucking need. You got to make decisions in life that in the long run, health, especially when you're older, health is more important than wealth. Uh, like that Mitch McConnell, that senator, whatever, the guy's about 86. Uh, Give it up, motherfucker. I was looking last night where it said Rosie O'Donnell had saved up some money before she quit. She had that talk show, whatever. I think that was back in the 80s or something. I'm reading the article. I scroll down. I want to see how much she had. I lived in New York City. She's from Brooklyn. I used to watch her a little bit, but when she turned on Trump, that's fucking broads coming out of a nutbag. Said she saved up $100 million. I don't know if that's made up. I don't know. That's one of the most way out ridiculous things I think I ever seen in my life. At 60 Minutes was Diane Sawyer. She was a former Miss America or some shit. Great pair of legs back, 40 years ago. She's been doing that 60 Minutes, I think, for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. She renewed a contract. I think that was in the late 80s or set for a woman, journalist or reporter. 7 million. It was back in the 80s. $7 million a year. Motherfucker, man, that's a lot of money. So now, like that Rachel Maddow, that dyke. I was looking at her. I liked her again. She's pretty intelligent, but uh, says she's knocking down like 25 million, 26 million a year. She's working 1 day a week now and got a $65 million mansion, or $26 million mansion up on the Upper East Side. Like, what the fuck? That's some crazy shit, man. I was over in the village. My alcoholism, drug usage took me. I was over there panhandling. I thought I was happy. I'm with my buddies, maybe get in a fight or get laid, one or the other, or get, stone cold drunk. Yeah, I can tell everybody what we think of them, this guy. And you spare a quarter. Can you spare any change? Excuse me. Can you spare a cigarette? That kind of shit. Over in the village, down 6th Avenue, Sheridan Square, or St. Mark's or something. We get, you had 3 or 4 close buddies, and it's 55 cents for a quarter Budweiser. I think it was, I don't know, around $2, $1.90, 2.25 for. I think it was a half pint or a pint of booze, something like that. It didn't cost much, but 4 or 5 hours, you get together, you split it, everybody's taking a couple of shots off you know, and somebody got a joint somewhere. Oh, $100 million. What the fuck, man? Crazy. That's all everybody. It tells you that in the Bible. They seek ye first the kingdom of God. Don't don't worship money. And I honestly think I think it's human nature that Stephen Colbert showing him on a piano with some pantyhose and high heels or some shit in his underwear. And, okay, you're a weird motherfucker, Jack. You know, but said he was at Taylor Swift's wedding, kind of depressed for real because he think narcissism. He thinks the world revolves around him. Uh, what I would do, I think I'd get in my car or my limo or whatever, probably go over to Jersey or Brooklyn or Queens. Queens, you know, give me about a dozen of them fucking White Castle hamburgers, bro. You know, all of a sudden the world seems right, you know. Uh, they had that circle line in Manhattan, like Italian, that boat or sightseeing. I think it was like $4 to go around the island of Manhattan. I'd do something like that. I mean, you know, there's a million things you can do. You got a little bit of money. I'm seeing this on Instagram. At Bunny and the guy's fixing up school buses. Him and the two of them. It's just kind of cute, you know, very full of energy, man. Anyhow, I think they're from the south or something. Anyhow, they get on a. Says we're in Munich, getting ready to take off to Thailand. Oh, I guess they went to Munich and then to Thailand, but going eastbound. Yeah. Oh, it shows them they're on the streets of Thailand and they're eating. You say, I found a 7-Eleven. Oh, okay, you know. This morning they were having pancakes. You know, they cater to the American tourism. So she's having pancakes with strawberries or some shit. He's got some eggs and sausage or some shit. And I'm thinking, like my dad, you know, why would you can you can make up something here in the kitchen. Why do you need to go spend all that money to go over there? Thailand, I seen, oh, that's 30, 35 years ago. It said that there was a doctor that went over to Thailand and he rented four 12-year-old girls for the weekend. They were doing a thing on pedophiles or some shit, you know. And so I got that idea that Thailand is, you know, I guess it's legal to, or they cater. You don't hear too much about it. Underage. Just so worried that Epstein thing. I'm up to here with that's halfway around the world. My dad used to say, in the world, he had a map of the world, you know, and he say people do this and that, whatever. So just putting things in perspective. I said, yeah, it tells you in the Bible, you know, we're born into sin. It's sin, it's evil, and worse than that. It tells you that. I'm reading Psalms right now. It's the third time that after my son died, my brother-in-law said, read the Bible every day. I've been doing that. And he left me a gift. And that, when you realize, you know, George Bush Jr. said that, oof, 15, 16, you know, 20 years ago, he said, it's good versus evil. You're absolutely right. It's good versus evil. And the AA, it's spiritual, not religious. It's Catholic. I grew up Catholic and Methodist. That the guilt and the shame, it just says confess. I was laying here right now taking a nap. I thought of something. or that Diddy thing. I said, New York, I committed a few sins, you know. Okay. I said, God forgive me that shit. I forgot all about that. You get, you go that way, uh, and the temptation and what do you call it, depraved behavior. And I went to a bar over there by Yale after I sobered up. I like rock and roll music. Toad's Place. I met the owner. I had blacked out with my buddy one time when I was about an hour and a half out of New York, up in New Haven, Connecticut, and right outside the campus. And rock and roll music. I don't know. It was, my buddy tells me the next day when we got back to our little group. I used to sing Vic, man. He was drunk as a motherfucker, and I was driving a cab. You know, you got a payday. You got enough to get everybody drunk. You know, so he pissed. He pissed in the corner. I don't even remember. Just a complete blank. So I'm driving a truck about 10 years after that or something. I'm clean and sober and driving truck cross country. We end up at New Haven. I'm with this California asshole. I went to an AA meeting. I'm stressed. I'm hungry. I'm paying. I got a motorcycle, a piece of property, a car payment. I got 6 payments. Getting advance every week, maybe twice, to pay my bills on time and all that. You get over there. I'm basically broke. I'm not really eating. So anyhow, I get a little stressed. You know, maybe too much coffee. I call up AA Central. They got an AA meeting a couple of miles away in the library or something. Tuesday night, Thursday night, something like that. They come pick me up. I wait about 2 or 3 hours to 6, I think, or a couple of gay guys come pick me up, took me over. Hey, thanks a lot. You know, I got no car. Well, I didn't have really cab fare money, so anyhow, I went over there, and you can probably somebody give you a ride back to the truck stop after the meeting or something. If not, call us. You know, they take care of you like that. We're having a meeting, and I'm telling this guy my story, and he says, "Oh, that's Mike. Yeah, he comes to this meeting. I think tonight. I think it was Tuesday or Thursday." The guy ends up sitting behind. He says, "That's him sitting behind you right there." Oh, okay. That's where the Stones play at Toad's Place. They used to go over there and play. But Irish guy, you know. Being in the program, I thought he would appreciate me being sober. I'm back in that environment. So I tell him a story, take a cigarette break, like half an hour, I think. So I said, "Hey, you Mike?" Yeah, he said, "Hey, this guy told me you're the owner of Toast." Like, yeah, let me tell you a story, man. About 10 years ago, when I'm drinking, you know, I'm having blackouts. So I'm glad, you know, I might be dead, you know. And the guy said, my buddy told me I pissed in the corner. That's all I say. He says, it's not a big deal, I don't think. And the guy looks at me like I'm a fucking piece of shit. So I guess he was probably newly sober. Maybe he didn't understand. I was just trying to point out the difference between when I was drinking. I might just go there and piss. You know, that inhibition, you got no sense no more. And now I'm driving a truck and responsible. I'm talking to you, you know, smoking a cigarette, whatever. So, but I guess he did. I guess I didn't register with him. So, give me a dirty fucking look. Fuck this motherfucker. At yeah, Goodfellas and all that shit. I see Michael Francis. He come out to Terminal Island in California. It's right next to the L.A. Harbor, where all the cargo ships and all are. And it's nice and cool over there. Did 10 years over there, and then Sammy the Bull. I think he's over there in Phoenix or Glendale or something. And Chandler. There's a truck stop and a racetrack. The Wild Horse Saloon over there. They got a steakhouse upstairs. When I was broke, but I went over there. You're starting at $20 on tablecloths, waiters, and all that shit. Next time I come over here, I'm going to get me a nice steak. There's truck parking over there. Well, Sammy the Bull, he was from Brooklyn. You know, he's in a race car. I think last year was something. They got race cars over there. So he's driving a good. You know, you're not just you're doing something. You know. Yeah, that's good. He's old. He's about 3 years older than me, and you stay active when you're old. You know, you get stay active. You know, I don't know, man. It's yeah. I did a little work this week. That's what I got some roof sealer on my old 1927 house, and it was so fucking hot in here. And I'm looking on YouTube like a motherfucker trying to say they got reflective roof sealer. It's basically silicone in the white. I get up there with a roller and a paintbrush and a 5 gallon bucket of paint. And I can only got some of the big Bustelo, the empty containers. So I put some of the paint into the my Home Depot bucket. It's so fucking heavy going up. I got an extension ladder, and to get it up there, and then you know the roof is tilted. You don't want too much. You're gonna spill it. I'm learning this shit. I never done this shit in my life. You know. So I'm up there and I said, well, fuck it. Just I pour some of the paint out. It starts running down a little bit, you know, and then I says, well, just move the bucket over about a foot and go to it. You know, I'm working, getting, and I try to get up there by, 9:30 in the morning, half an hour, 45 minutes. And I says, I hope, the ultimate goal is not to fall off the fucking roof and end up in the hospital. So I'm doing that. I got almost half of one side done. It's been up there about 6 or 7 times. And I got some other stuff that just says it wasn't the advertised brand. Henry's Walmart, $75 for 5 gallons. It's the same thing, roof sealer, and it's white. And I may go just to try that front section of the house has got a trees in front of it. Might just try some white paint. It'd be a little cheaper, I think. And then when I moved over here 20 years ago, my son would go in and see it was 85 degrees. I'm like going nuts. I cut a hole. This guy give me one of those turbos that spins with the wind, sucks out the hot air from the attic. So I put that up there, a couple of roofing nails and all that, and it starts leaking. I put some roof sealer, some of that black, the real thick shit. Put up there, still leaking. I covered the top with some garbage bags and zip ties. It's still fucking leaking. What the fuck, man? So I'm looking. The thing is off balance. That's why they threw it out or something. And I'm looking at my neighbors. The lawyer lady next door got I think 3 or 4 that I can see. They're not spinning. And then the guy next to her, he's got look like four brand new ones. They've all done the roof. That's like 15 grand and all. Yeah, so he got four brand new, and they're tilted a little bit along with the slope of the roof. They're tilted to they're not. You can position it. You know, it's not straight up. It's tilted. One is one side, and they're both spinning like great, all four of them. So I thought, well, that's plus a refrigeration unit. Those are like 6 to 8 grand plus a couple of grand installation. I don't have that kind of money. I get, yeah, they say payments as low as $79 a month, but then I'm looking on YouTube, and I don't know, man. It says, why pay all that shit? My neighbor says they got a split unit, air conditioning. That's it. Some of the trucks had that a couple of years back. I guess that works enough. I grew up with a swamp cooler, and you put it in the window. There's a small one, medium, and large. And then my neighbor's got a couple of large ones with the downdraft. You feed it a little water into the four pads on each side, uh, kind of like hay or something, some kind of material. And those pads get damp. The water, it feeds it into. There's a rail with little holes all the way, and it drip keeps them pads wet. It cools down the air temperature, and then the fan got a motor running the fan, so you got to hook all that shit up. You get a 1/4 inch pipe, and you got to get a fitting on the water spigot. Like I went off the front, I had to replace that. Get a water faucet with a little side thing that you open and close. That's got a 1/4 inch fitting. That's for them swamp coolers. But it ain't no $8,000. You know, like they're selling them like today on Facebook. They got them for 250. They look like they're pretty new. You know, get a starter. You can replace anything. It's got a little water pump. Those are like $20. Walmart and all the pads are, I don't know, four for $16, something like that. It's not much. And that motor, half a horsepower, 3/4, or 1 horsepower, I'd get like, you got a medium unit, get like a small, get a half horsepower. You don't need too much. And then they got fans inside. We got one over here, but it's loose on top. I got to go to the attic and secure it, which is a pain in the butt. You know, maybe in the winter. But that helps. My dad had one. He says, "Oh, that's." And then I guess you can turn the fan blade upside down with it. One throws the air down, and then you turn it upside down to suck the air up. I'm guessing that's the summertime to the cool air goes on the bottom, so you want to suck the cool air up. So I don't know, fucking. They got lights on them, you know. They're pretty. Those are about $100 just to stay cool. And you're looking. They advertise on YouTube. Oh, lowers the room temperature 40 degrees, and you can go down to 10 degrees. Man, fuck all that shit, man. If I can get 3 degrees, I'm like right now. I wake up in the morning 76, 77, felt nice and cool. I got my comforter on, and then like right now it's 88. I got two fans going, and well the AC, and I'm okay right there. But the last couple of days, I wake up, you know, around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. It's like 96 degrees in here. I'm like, fuck this. I'm laying down in front of the AC there, and I stand up, and it's like get hit by like with a you know. So It's an old house. Old school is open the window. The bottom window's open on this. You got to prop it up. It's got the old weights inside the with a rope, but the rope's 100 years old. It's not there anymore or whatever. So you got them weights. You got to take the windowsill thing apart and all that. Man, I'll have to do that later, but I can open the windows will go up, and then you put a piece of wood or something in there to hold it up. And I thought, well, I wonder you get these $20 box fans at Walmart, and I'm thinking, I wonder, I got two windows in here, and I wonder if I got the AC in one on the other window, if I raise it up about 2 feet or so for that box fan, put that box fan sucking the air from inside the room, throwing it out. That might cool things down. Like, you know, I'm just looking for like 2 degrees that make a big difference. And then the AC won't have to work as hard, So, and then sometimes I start getting crazy, man, with the fucking heat. You're uncomfortable hour after I seen that. I said, well, it started getting hot last month, June, July, August, September, and it's still warm till the middle of October, but it's warm 1 or 2 days, and then it's cool for 4 days, something like that. But I guess football starts next in about 3 weeks, August 7th or something, a month before the regular season. So it's July 12th, so about another month, football will start. So anyhow, you got the month of August, and September's hot too. So that's about 2.5 months more. And and then I was thinking, shit, when the winter comes, you get so fucking cold you can't stand it. But that's life, you can put clothes on and all that. I'm looking at the YouTube. I need to get out a little more. My 68 caddy ain't running. I got to fix the exhaust valve, bent the timing chain. That cylinder head's a pain in the butt. Need to get that off, and then the the exhaust valve seat. I got a new exhaust valve, but it's not sitting. There was a little nick. I'm in such a fucking hurry to get back to the truck and make money and all that. I says to myself, maybe it'll be okay. Well, a lot of times it is. This thing here, that air, when the piston comes up, that air's compressed, and I think a little, what you want to call like a hairline fracture. They used to, a small, like a nick, like looked like somebody scraped it just a little bit, about a quarter an inch, with that exhaust valve bent a little bit, like that New York building. Not that bad, just a little bend like that. So what the fuck is this? Never seen that. Inside that valve, there's a little nick right by the lip, by the seat at the top. Somebody gouged it with a screwdriver. It's about a quarter inch. It's not much, not even like an eighth of an inch. You barely noticed it really. And I thought, well, if I get a little grinder or something with Drexel or Dremel, a grinder, or I got some piles that just smooth it out. It don't even matter if it's in the valve there. The exhaust is coming out. That don't even really matter. But what I'm thinking, let's see, you got the intake and the exhaust, so it's getting no compression. I put the new valve on there, the number two cylinder on the driver's side at the front of the motor. I'm getting no compression again, so could be the rings are wore out. It's got 160,000 miles around here, so that could be the start of it. More than likely, there's a good chance that's what it is, and because I'm thinking if it's just a little nick, and then too, it's not on the intake, it's on the exhaust. No, I'm not. I'm trying to learn this shit. If the exhaust has a little nick, that's when the exhaust valve closes and the intake opens. I don't know that. Well, if it's the exhaust and the intake is separate. I'm thinking so because if the intake opens and the exhaust, if it's not 100% closed, but if it's 95%, there's a little tiny leak. I'm guessing that it should still register some kind of compression. So I'm trying to figure it out exactly first, and I'm going to look into that a little more. I think that's where I'm making a mistake. If it's, you're supposed to take it out, take it to a machine shop, let them clean everything, put new parts and all that. I call one guy, I think it's $1,000 or some shit. $550 online for a new cylinder head. Yeah, usually don't have the money. Plus, I want to learn how the shit works exactly. I got a little lapping compound in one of those old. It shows you a million ways to do it online. And then if it's the rings, now you got to jack up the car. Now, the law says in El Paso that you can't work on your car in the backyard, right? Tow it out of here, it'd be like $45. I think my friend could do that at his shop. This guy he knows his shit, man. He's out of Chicago. He want to charge you 3 times the price. Take it or leave it, get a deal with the cops. All they know is, well, we'll come in there and take it. Tow you to the storage yard, So they ain't fucking with me, I got it parked in the backyard, but nothing getting done. So anyhow, what I'm saying, I could jack it up a little bit, put it's dirt. Supposed to pave, put a 20 by 20 cement. That's $3,000 or $4,000 right there. Fucking. So I just put a tarp down and maybe get a piece of canvas that's 70, $80 for $40 at Walmart or something, and jack up the car enough, drop the oil pan. Now you got to fuck with take off on the camshaft. Take off I was doing that on my truck in Florida when I didn't get nowhere with that with the what do you call it the caps on the you got the thing in a camshaft that fits in there, and then the what do you call them things on the bottom seals it up, holds the camshaft in place. Got to take them off. I'm not sure I'm going to look. I don't know if you got to take all of them loose. Well, you're at that point, you might as well rebuild the whole fucking motor. I got a guy for 2,500, a couple of miles from here, but He says you got to bring the motor in. I could take off the hood, take off the cylinder heads, find somebody with a truck or something, and then or a Uber, maybe make a couple of trips, take off the cylinder heads, take off the crankshaft on the bottom, and then take out the block. Put new motor mounts when you. Yeah, yeah. I just got that idea. That might work. That would work. And then when you're talking to some guy, somebody got a pickup truck, and somebody's going to help you out for a little bit. That guy Richard, he just burns me up, man. He's stuck like a motherfucker. He's got all this shit there. Well, he don't do everything, but I'm talking to him like he's a buddy. 20 years ago, and he's like, that motherfucker, he'd sell his own mother. Hey, he got money, That's another one. So, yeah, either way you go, you're gonna. Yeah, that might work though. And then put that cement down. I don't know. Give me a canvas thing. Probably be more comfortable. Take that camshaft. That ain't nothing like the truck, that Freightliner 99. Fuck you. You could kill yourself. Let that motherfucker drop on top of you. You're dealing with more weight that you gotta put a jack stand on it. Don't fuck with that shit. I found a great shop. They're big to start with. It's not a little garage or nothing. So, with this Cadillac, it's a 472. It's one of the bigger motors, but ain't nothing like a truck. So, if I did that, and you learn like a motherfucker on it. I just got to get it in my head. I thought I'd have an easy fix, and I'm thinking if it's the rings, you got to take the camshaft off, pull that the piston rod, the rod bearings. That's what you call them, motherfuckers. The piston, the bottom of the piston is like that, and then you put the bearing on that, and the camshaft, around the camshaft, you clamp it down like that. So it was the number 2 front cylinder. Loosen that rod bearing. My friend did that in the garage over at my dad's house with a guy from O'Reilly's. Took him a couple of days. They wrapped it up. They did the same fucking thing. Now I'm thinking about it. It was a pickup truck. The guy just bought a Vietnam vet and all that. I forgot about that. So, yeah, you loosen that, and then you tap, bang the piston up, and if there's a ridge at the top of the piston, you need to grind that down, and then keep tapping and bring that piston up through the top with the rings, and then replace the 3 sets of rings. Get all the specs, and then push it back down with a rubber hammer or whatever. Bang on it. Put that sealed thing to hold the rings down when it's going into the top of the piston. I had a guy in LA that did that. I watched him a couple of times. And then tighten it back up on the bottom, and away you go. I think that's what my real problem is. So, yeah. After a year and a half, I'm trying to, calm down, take care of all this house issues, the fucking family this dysfunctional family from hell. So to turn my sobrietyism to benefit me, or I could even attempt to do something like, I would do it when I'm drinking, but you're going in the wrong direction, you fuck up. Your buddies are no help, you know. But that's what they say too with the old timers. You're supposed to be able to get shit done, you know, by hook or by crook, whatever, sooner or later. I come out with the idea, but it's taken me like a year and a half to think about that, think it all the way through. But now that I did, you know, the caddy's worth a little money, but not when it's like that, ain't nobody even gonna touch it really. You might, but then they're gonna give you like one third, one quarter the price. That was me and my son's car. It's got so many memories, but that thing's a tank. And now they're showing you on YouTube the '58 Cadillac Eldorado. Mother of Jesus! I said that was back in '58. Guy leaves a comment. Yeah, it was 13 grand. I said, "Are you sure about that?" Because you could buy a new Corvette in around 1970. Could buy a new Corvette for the late '60s for $3,200. Chevelle Malibu was like $2,400 brand new from the factory. So this was 1958, and he had 5-cent candy bars, 5-cent Coca-Cola in a bottle. The houses were like $12,000. Sears would send you a kit to build a house, like a 2-bedroom house with it was like $1,900 or something. You buy the property and assemble it. We're talking cheap, man. So I said, "Are you sure about that $13,000?" I said, I think it was more like 3,000 back then. So he said, and I listened to the video, and the guy said Cadillac was trying to outdo Rolls Royce, even though they knew they were going to lose money on this. They had uh, they had spent 159,000 to build it, and then sell it for 13. Hey, there's some crazy motherfuckers way back then. So maybe they did do that just for the reputation. Because Cadillac started back in the 1900s, like 1907 or something like that. So just for them bragging rights, the world standard, that's a hell of a car. I seen one up in Oregon, Corvallis, I think. It's in southern, as Interstate 5 goes. I think it's about 50 miles from the California. Not Corvallis. I think it starts with a C. I forget. Anyhow, this old timer got one. It's parked out front. 57, 58 Eldorado. I'm looking at that motherfucker. What a fucking car, man. It was perfect. And he says, I forget what he wanted for it, man. I think under 10 grand. And he says there's a guy from Denmark wanted to buy it, put a deposit on it, 22,000 or something like that. But I mean, you really got to do your homework on that shit. Looking back now, you know, but what I did the same way with the trucks, I, I realized how important, if you don't have ungodly amount of money, how important it is to know how to fix shit. You know, so that's my thing with the blue collar and all that. Donald Trump and the golden era of America, which uh, my college, my family's all collegiate. I went to school 3 years. It wasn't for me. Of course, I was drinking too much. Uh, I'm big on blue collar. I just got a MIG welder for $65 in Timu, and just to learn, you know. Fucking things easy as pie. I'm trying to do stick well, and I just can't get that motherfucker. So I'm doing the wrought iron screen and all that. They broke in the house 7 times. I said, I got to do something. Bought $1,000 worth of wrought iron. This house has been totally neglected, you know. Anyhow, I'm getting the hang of it. I put a door on to hang a door. God help us all. And I got to figure out. My brothers were engineers, and my nephew's an architect. Anyhow, this is drafting class, 1965. I dropped out of that. I didn't. It's got to be exact. I'm out of it. I had started drinking back then, so I'm trying to remember. And I says, well, draw like I think it was Jesse James on the car shows he had. It was 25 years ago. When you're going to make a hot rod or whatever, custom car, whatever, motorcycle, whatever, first, draw a picture of what you got in mind, and then start filling it in, and then measuring every little fucking thing. You know, it's not so easy, but you start with you know, when they build a house, the blueprints or a building, the blueprints. And that's, I think these guys get a big head over there because you're dealing with a whole lot of fucking money. I'm down in Houston one morning driving the truck, 7:30 in the morning. So there's a fucking Chinese, they're building a building. It's about like 3 or 4 houses long, you know. They got the guys out there with hard hats and all. They got cement pad laid down, and whatnot, and some stuff, equipment, and all that. Right in the middle of all them guys is the boss man, fucking Chinese guy. It was right off the highway. You know, that's a fucking Chinese motherfucker. You got to be cool, calm, and collected, and know your shit. And he probably went to college for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and you know, got that paper, and then you get actual experience. Like that Pfizer building, Pfizer, where they built that building in a hurry. The union guy says you get what you pay for. They had a couple of beams that buckled. It's like 46 stories or something, right around the middle, around the 23rd, 26th floor. I think there's 1, 2, maybe 3 stories where the support beams buckled. Now they're getting back to why. Well, whatever. The consensus of these videos was that they was in a not in a hurry. They were being too cheap, or they cut corners, and that construction company had many violations. They looked into the history of that company, and they're suing a construction company for $300 million. So now they put some support struts in the meantime to hold up the weight, you know, and then take out those buckled beams, and then put some new beams in there. You can do all that. I think it falls under the art. I got this bathroom in here that the floor by the toilet it's sinking in the bathtub, cast iron. The floor has dropped about an inch and a half. And I said, oh shit! So I went down to the basement. Oh, my brother, he was an engineer, and he says, well, put a 4x4 up in the basement to hold up the floor. Now, where the water comes into the toilet, I noticed last week it started kind of crumbling around that. I said, man, I got to get on that. And to put the 4x4 to raise up the floor like an inch, I was going to get like a sledgehammer and try to cut that 4x4 at the right height, bang it in where it would push. It's going to be tilted a little bit, but get the corner, get the edge underneath that cement, and then start banging, and that will raise it up about an inch, and then support it. And if I was smart, which I'm not, maybe get 2 or 4 4x4s with a metal plate, like 3/16 or 1/4 of an inch, to add to support that area. And then also, I says, what if I can't get that in there? I don't want to fuck it up, man. Shit starts falling apart, and here comes a tub and a broken water line. Oh God, it'd be a nightmare and a half. I thought, well, there's a jack stand for the house. There again, get a little plate, put it on top of the jack stand, and get that hold it up with some boards or wires or something underneath the floor, and then jack up. It goes in a circle, to jack up that 4x4 where you want it. That would work. And then for starters, and then put a couple of extra, put 4 altogether just to make sure, and some sheet metal for at 4 different places it's supporting that floor. It's going to cost you about a $40, $60 each, $70 for the wood. That's $300, and then jack stand. One jack stand, and that sheet metal would be about $50, $60. That's about $500. So it's an investment. So anyhow, I'm gonna wrap it up. Everybody take care. God bless. Wish me luck. God bless. Yeah. Still here. I hit the edit button. Okay, and I'm Lauren.